What's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel again. Before we start today, I want to apologize for yesterday's live broadcast. It's the first time I did it on the YouTube. I thought I'm going to have some reviewers, but unfortunately, I get zero. Well, actually, I get a one. I'm not even sure that is myself or something. I get a 0 or 1 reviews on the live, so I actually cut it off. Before it goes to more embarrassing. What I'm going to do is to break out those the topics I want to cover on the live that I tried to broadcast yesterday into different pieces to videos. So today's topic will be the first part of the path to financial independence. Which all my personal experience, and today we're going to be talking about how did I save $100,000 in just 5 years since I started to work. If you're looking at my video, what I'm really suggesting, the path to getting financial independence, step number 1 is to get $100,000 in your account, regardless if it's a 401k or is a regular account. That's what you need to do first. You need to have a fundamental in order to start to grow your wealth. So if you don't have a wealth, you have nothing to grow. I know from this, a lot of people will think the 100,000 is just not too much. Some people think that is a very big number. For today's U.S. economy, 100,000 is the bare minimum for each bank except their private clients. Which really means that if you get a investable assets, which is a financial term, that means that you have those money that you don't really need them at this moment. So that's called investable asset. 100K is the bare minimum to start with a private banking business. You will be having an advisor. They will tell you all kind of stuff, how to manage your money, that kind of stuff. It's also a very bare minimum starting point to start your investment. If you have even less than 100K, what I'm really recommending you do right now is try to save until you're hitting that mark. Usually the private bank, they ask for like a 250K at the very minimum, but they will start to doing business with you when you reach $100,000. That's why I want to choose that point to make clear what we're going to cover today, what we're going to be talking about. So let's go ahead and start it. All right, for the beginning, you have to have a regular paid job, and it's going to be a full-time job. If you don't have a full-time job, this is going to be very, very difficult, okay? And it's definitely not for everybody. It's definitely not for people that don't really have a real job to actually listen to this. But those tips are still going to benefit you, because the fundamental ideas of saving is you spend less. So if you spend too much on this stuff or different variety of different stuff, you need to cut that kind of habit. Tip number 1 that I want to give to you is that you need to budget your spending every single month. If you have a family and you have kids, you have different stuff to taking care of, well, I have to say, unfortunately, the time for you to grow up wealth is already past. That is very bad and very unfortunate of that. Unless you can have a higher paying job, otherwise there's just no way to get rid of that. When I fresh out from college, what I'm really lucky is that my major is actually in information system, which is related to programming. And my skill set is very required, and it was a very demand market. So the supply demand is not in an even level, all right? So there is a lot of positions available, but there's not that much developers. Especially in the center of the United States, there's a lot of states, young people, they tend to go to Silicon Valley, they tend to go to the East Coast, to New York, to big cities. But there's a lot of firms in the middle of nowhere, basically, they still requires developers. And that's the time really hard to get one. So the pay is good, the benefit is good. That's how I actually started to gain up my wealth. My way of saving it is simple. I save 10% in my 401k, which you will see if you have hired a financial advisor before. This is a recommended threshold point that you should, especially when you're young. That means that you're fresh out from college. If you go into college, typically when you're 18, plus 4 years, that are going to be 22. If you go to grad school, then plus another additional 2 years, then you will be about 24, 25-ish. So that time, you don't have a family to be taken care of. You don't have bunch of other crappy stuff, so you shouldn't spend everything you earn. So if you get a full-time job at a time, your pay should be well enough to cover all your expenses. Making a 10% into your 401k is just absolutely very easy to achieve. Actually, if you're reading for T. Rowe Price report, I think that what they're saying is like you need 15% from your total annual income into retirement saving account. That will be hard. The extra 5% will be hard. So what I'm saying that is 10% for your 401k. That doesn't really reduce any of your lifestyles you currently have. So you don't have to sacrifice too much. Unfortunately, you still get to sacrifice some. I mean, that is the opportunity cost, right? You have only X amount of dollars, and you can do a couple things, but not all of them. So you have to pick. A lot of people chose that having a good life before they can saving up. But the problem for that is your risk tolerance is very low. Everything unexpected happens, you won't have enough money to cover all that. Those are the tips I really think a lot of people should know when they fresh out of college, and I really do believe those are the subjects or matters that the college to cover. Unfortunately, nobody does that, and people get being harmed by the harsh environment, and then start to slowly gaining up that saving money is actually saving your life, and they learn in a hard way. So I want my audience to know those before they even get started into it. After that, when you're going into 401k, you will see there is a variety of options. Usually there are a target fund date, there are index funds, there are growth fund. But for 401k, you don't really have much choice. A lot of company funded fund, they don't want to mess up with your retirement. They don't want to fuck up yourself at the end, and you don't really have anything to cover your retirement. So they don't really want you to do that. For yourself, especially you are a young age, what I'm recommending is that you should go to the most aggressive as possible when the fund based on the fund availability. Usually those are going to be pure equity fund or index fund. Growth fund usually has the highest potential gains these years, and as you know, potential means that maximum things you can get, but there also means more volatility on the fund. Those are the things you should really consider when you're doing that 401k. I know a lot of folks will asking that I'm doing my 401k 10% 5 years doesn't even add up to 100k. So it's going to be either I have a very high income or I have something tricks on that. Not at all. So what I'm doing is when I fresh out from college, I fresh out from my graduate school, I get a job at State Farm, and the pay for a entry-level developer, that is back in 2015, it was $62,000 a year. Compare what they have in Silicon Valley, like a $200,000, or at that time is like $120,000. Total package, that is just a half of it. But in central Illinois, the cost of living is relatively low, right? You can get a nice apartment for like $400 a month. So this is $60,000 is well enough to cover everything that I need. That time I start to saving money, and your salary goes up pretty quickly. The time that I left the State Farm, my annual income was like I think it's $72,000. So that is 2018. So in 3 years, I managed to jump like $12,000. It's not much. This is absolutely in the little bit lower average speed of gaining your salary. All right. So State Farm is a different type of company. They have a different pay structure. So they have pension plan in it. So that's different. Anyway, I save 10% every single of my total paycheck for annually. And the time I left the State Farm, so my 401k account have about $31,000 something in it. There was a thing that I did wrong, is that I did not roll my 401k to IRA account immediately after the termination. That is a very big mistake I did. So it lost a lot of potential gains because the 401k has so little choices. But IRA, especially when you put it into a regular brokerage firm, you will have a variety of different products you can pick. It's just that the potential gain will be much more higher than the 401k, especially in the good market for the past couple years, which I did not really do that. There is some loss over there. And what I really want to say is that you saw your starting pay is low. That doesn't really matter. All right, your first job, as long as it's a regular normal company, it's not like a crappy company or a startup form, that kind of thing. As long as it is a normal company, it really can build your career path. If the pay is a little bit low, that is totally fine, because when you jump into another position, usually you can get a boost at about 30 or 40%. So for instance, for myself, when I joined to another major insurance firm to be a software engineer over there, my salary boost like a 40% by just switching my job. All right, so that is a huge boost, and then I started to making six figures. That was 2019 ish. And this company, they have a very phenomenal 401k plan. They are matching yourself about 8%. Back in State Farm, they have a pension, but you have to be staying 5 years to vest it. So I did not stay in 5 years, so basically that part is gone. What I put into 401k is purely just my money. They put like a $700 in it, but it just basically means nothing. That time I only have like a $30,000 ish dollars in the 401k account. And once I join in the current firm that I'm working on, I get paid a lot, and I still put 10% down into my 401k, and they match 8% every single year. They match additional 3% they call it catch-up 401k matching, which is actually 11% matching. That's the third or second thing I forgot. The second, maybe the fourth, whatever. So this is the next thing I wanted to talk about. You have to make sure you at least at the level that's your company maximum matching level. If it's a normal company, again, the definition of normal is that they matching your 401k. They have, first of all, they have a 401k plan, and secondly, they do match your 401k. Usually, the industrial average is 4%. Some good companies, they do 8%. Even there are other companies, they do stock options or even better stuff. But stock options or what they call it RSU, which is a restricted stock unit, or options or purchase options, those are taxable. Okay, that's like a 40% taxes. The 401k is tax free, so that is different. So those are different stuff. So once I join this firm, my 401k account pile up pretty quickly, and I can show you right here or right here or whatever I will put on after the effect. So I will show you how much I get at this moment. So starting at July this year. Now we're talking about how you're going to manage your money once you're saving. You already done your savings, good for you, but really to let those money accumulate up, you need to manage this by investment. You can't just let them sitting in like a saving account. That's really not going to do anything good. The rate is pretty much next to zero right now. You won't get anything, and plus the inflation, you're actually losing money in your saving account. That's not a good idea. The 401k account or IRA account or any retirement tax advantage account, those things you're not going to use it in 20-30 years. All right, so you need to go to the most aggressive as possible to accumulate money quickly. That's why I'm kind of roll my stuff into IRA to just have the quicker return. So July this year, so you see I quit my job back in the end of 2018, and then I really started to doing the rollover this year. So I actually missed a lot of opportunities during 2019, but it's still okay. It's still growing okay. I finally rolled it up. So I actually did the stock selection that's based on my brokerage account, which is a regular taxable account, just doing the selections, mirroring that kind of selection, but a little bit more conservative. But my current brokerage account is actually a kind of a long short equity strategy, so it actually has option in it. I don't want to do that kind of risky stuff into my IRA, because those are the money I really going to need at the when I get retired, when I don't have the capability to earn anything, right? Those want to play safe but still aggressive. So that's basically just stocks and fund. And as you can see, there's an, I will put another graph on it. The return is like $10,000 already. So that's going to be 46 or something, maybe 50. I don't know. But the currently I have plus that equals actually above $100,000. So that's how I get it to $100,000, which literally what I did is just to start a career in a good company, and to have a healthy jump every 3 or 4 years. So you will see at the point that you feel that your progression, your career path seems like limited. That's the time you're thinking to get another job. And every time you jump, you should, at least for developer perspective, which is not normal though. I understand developer usually get paid a lot more higher than other major. So that really means that you should pick a developer major rather than other major. The developer pays a lot more than regular major, so but it usually gives you a 30% or 40% jump. And then you go to a company, you start to pile up your money again. So you can get $100,000 pretty easily in recent years, especially you're fresh out from college, you don't have anything to work on. But if you have student loans though, that's gonna to be a different thing. Student loans eats a good chunk of it, of your money, but that's going to be like a how you manage your debt section, which will be the next one. So if you subscribe me and hit that like button, I will release a part 2, which basically dealing with your debit structure, your debt structure, your mortgage, your student loans, all your credit card debt. And so I'm going to be talking about how you're going to manage those, and those going to be covered up, and those going to help you to accumulate your goal to save money. So stay tuned, guys, and see you guys next time.